Alright guys, TacticalRab here again today. Hope you're doing well and enjoying your day so far. Kenny's given his thoughts on Shotzzy's rampage that he went on over the last few days, calling out many pro teams for not trying as they might well do, and OpTic not being very happy about the outcome, especially during CDL Minor 1. Kenny believes that TJHaLy on the Ravens team that defeated OpTic to make it to the grand finals may be one of these individuals who is simply not trying in practice compared to how he does in the real games. Which other teams might be culprits as well? Very much interested your thoughts in the comments below. Hit the like button if you enjoy. Subscribe if you're new as always. I'd greatly appreciate it. Plenty to get into today. I'll just start here because there was some talk about this. OpTic tweeted this out yesterday, the new, I don't know, it's a bit of a going around thing on Twitter, innit? People are saying tap and hold, load in 4K, whatever. This is a photo of the boys winning the World Championship for OpTic back in Dallas several months ago last year. Dashy, Shotzzy, Kenny, Karma, JP, whatever. Prince in the middle holding the trophy. So people are like, oh my god, I've tweeted about AG. Can you believe it? Like, he's coming back. What's going on? I don't really know if that is the conclusion. It is a potential conclusion to draw. I don't think it is the conclusion though, because they did tweet out on New Year's Eve going into New Year's Day a load of pictures from the year, including Pred. So it's not like the first time they've publicly acknowledged that he exists. Obviously, it is a bit of a weird one. Like, even the guys in OpTic still don't really... Look, Shotzzy talks about Pred from time to time. They don't really talk about him too much. So, yeah, it's still a confusing one. Obviously, we've discussed it over the last few days because OpTic didn't win the minor. They may not win the major. If they don't win the major, should they say, all right, Pred, come back in? Is that even an option? Shotzzy said on stream the other day, that's not going to happen for whatever reason. Is Pred available to go to another team? Is that a possibility, right? Because there's certainly teams out there that will definitely improve if Pred was to join the roster as far as I'm concerned. So, yeah, just an interesting one because OpTic obviously tweeted out a picture of Pred. It's just not the first time they've done it since the departure. Now, speaking of another former OpTic player, YodaPope, or, well, should we call him YodaKing? I don't really know. Now, yesterday, I did actually spot this when I was watching some scrims as well, and YodaKing, as he is now going by on Twitch and also on Twitter, did change his in-game name to Pope. So, Pope has been YodaPope's nickname, right? The Pope for some time, and if he was going to change his name, that went pretty hard, in my opinion. Now, I don't know how much YodaPope actually likes the name, whether he wants it, kind of unclear, but if he's going to change his in-game gamer tag to it, it might indicate that's the next step here for YodaKing. So, yeah, I mean, obviously he was frying as well. Look at him, 44 and 25. This was against the Cloud9 team. They were obviously Pope, as he now is, Johnny, Bracken, Standy, scrimming against the Cloud9 guys, Mack, Kremp, Sib, and Attach, and they win at 250-249 on the Hacienda, and Pope drops, pretty good numbers. So, yeah, I don't exactly know what the next steps there are. I will say, though, that YodaKing's tweet, 20k likes and I go back to YodaPope, has hit the 20,000 like mark. We kind of said, would it hit it, would it not yesterday? It did get to 20k likes. So that means, I guess, that he's going back to YodaPope. Welcome back. But I'm not sure it's super clear because he's going by Pope in the game, and then also his old so there's several Twitter accounts I go through and have a look at every day to see what's going on. YodaPope is one of them, and if you go on it today, it will, well, not YodaPope, parody account, not Call of Duty player YodaPope, but if YodaPope wants his old back, then, he's going to have to DM the account, which is kind of tough to even do, and, I don't know, give the guy some cash, I guess, to get it back. So maybe YodaPope will decide, okay, 20k likes and I go back to YodaPope is quite a sizable number of people telling him that Yoda wasn't the play, but doesn't necessarily mean that he has to go back to YodaPope. If he genuinely does want to get away from the connotations associated with YodaPope, if you even want to call it that, I mean, look, he was a world champion in that name, then maybe Pope is the way to go. Into your thoughts, I guess, in the comment section below on that one. Another big update yesterday coming out of Kaysan. Now, this guy is doing loads of the scene, and it is great to see, right? Because he doesn't have to do this stuff. He's got plenty of friends in plenty of different industries and places. Like, he does not have to commit time and money to the betterment of competitive Call of Duty esports, but that's exactly what he's doing. And Kaysan over the last, year or so has done so much for competitive COD. I think it should absolutely be commended, and it is. He's getting the credit that he deserves. now in the community, finally, I think, because I know there was some time where people, you know, in the early days, when he was just getting into the scene and didn't fully understand things, people were clowning this guy hard. But now he's doing more things for competitive COD than many individuals in the scene, including, let's be honest, the CDL themselves. So anyway, Kaysan says this: S&D 8 Pro Tournament winner takes all. This is tomorrow night, as in tonight, 9 PM Eastern time. So, late night, it's going to be several hours after my second video goes live, and it's going to be probably perfect timing for me to wake up in the morning and make the content on it. So the plan is as follows. You get 16 pro players. You have them split across 4 different teams, 8 teams, right? So, fundamentally, it's going to be a captain, 3 players they choose, and then they play against each other. Each pro's putting up $250, so that's 16 times 250, so that's $4,000. Maybe some will even go higher than that. Going to try and get these going every Wednesday. That's the plan. I'll be on Codcaster. I'll run an ad-free stream for you guys as well. So this is brilliant stuff. I don't know whether Activision, are going to put up any money towards this. Probably not, is the bottom line. Kaysan's just making this work, right? Because, there's always some expense as a creator if you want to run something like this. But the idea that Kaysan's saying, all right, guys, let's, instead of just running 8s when you guys want to, let's make it a bit more official. Every Wednesday night, we'll run some high roller 8s. Effectively, this is going to be a tournament. And we can look through the players. So I think we've got 16 players here. Yeah, looks like 16 to me. And obviously, Kaysan's here in the middle. And I guess we can have a quick look at which players are playing from which respective team, because all of the OpTic guys are here. So Shotzzy, Dashy, Kenny, and Huke, of course. Yeah, they're all in the image. All of, I think, the Thieves guys are here. So we've got Ghosty, I can see, HyDra, Scrappy, and then, of course, Envoy's here as well. We've got aBeZy and Drazah from FaZe, so we've got 2 FaZe players. We know that Simp doesn't really like playing 8s, and obviously Cellium's not here either. Gwinn and TJ from the Ravens. We've got Skyz and Priestahh from the Gentlemates team, and then Real, who loves getting into mates action, right? And also Kismet from the Gentlemates team as well. So, yeah, those are your 16 players. Be interesting to see if we get more of this kind of action over time, and who turns up every week. And also just notable to think that all the OpTic guys there, all the Thieves guys there, half of the FaZe guys are there. Probably the best teams in the game, at least some might argue, and some of the Ravens guys there as well. So there might be a bit of a correlation between playing the game more and actually being better, but who would I be to judge on that one? So the point is that you'll get together on tonight, basically, and it's a tournament play. So it's 16 pros, all on the current teams, single elimination, best of 5, 4 teams, and the teams are selected by draft. Captains will be random. So pretty much randomize the captains. The captains go and pick their teams, and then I guess the bracket is randomized. You play single in best of 5. If you win it, you'll play the finals. And, of course, the team that wins everything takes everything home. So I think this will be great fun. Really great work, I thought, from Kaysan here, especially just because FaZe as an organisation, what have they really done for competitive COD over the last few years? Apart from Zuma and Kaysan and the individuals over there, and having the booth at the Esports World Cup, like, Atlanta FaZe have not been running tournaments. So, obviously people are saying FaZe, OpTic, Thieves, meant to be the big teams, but Kaysan's stepping up to the plate here. So, yeah, Shotzzy gives him the W. Looking forward to seeing this one. And if they can get it going every Wednesday, Shotzzy is all about improving the state of the league, and this is ideally a big step towards it, I think many might argue. Now, Shotzzy's also been talking about many of the other problems in the league, and that maybe comes down to the level of competitiveness that we sometimes see, especially from some of the other pro teams, maybe not giving their all. We know that it's been a general discussion over the last few years, pro teams not really trying to win because they're more than comfortable just looking good on the scoreboard, coming top 6 every tournament if they can, collecting a paycheck, and spending it all on DoorDash, right? So Shotzzy then said this yesterday: no scrims today, got chalked. Going over stuff as a team, be on later today. So that's pretty interesting stuff. So got chalked is interesting. Of course, it could be for a number of reasons, but I think it's pretty clear from Shotzzy, the way that he says this, that it wasn't OpTic that chalked the scrim. So somebody chalked it up. It's kind of interesting because usually you run 2 sets of scrims. So, did both of them get chalked? Very interesting. And of course, the entire team was there together to go over things. So, yeah, interesting how it works. People take note of this, obviously. Like, we don't know who they were meant to scrim, whatever. But obviously, Shotzzy was going to stream them, and it got chalked. Now, why did it get chalked? Did some other team have an emergency they couldn't play, or did some other team say, we don't want you streaming our scrims? I mean, who knows, to be honest. I'm hoping it's not the latter. I don't actually think it would be the latter, just because, let's say hypothetically a team says, look, we don't want you streaming our practice. Would OpTic say, all right, screw you guys, then we're not even going to scrim you? Maybe they would. Or would they say, all right, fair enough, it's still better for us to do that than not scrim at all? Don't know. Intrigued to your thoughts, because then they decided to say, all right, instead of scrimming, we're just going to go over stuff as a team. We'll go over VOD or whatever, have a look at some of the things that happened at the minor areas we need to improve on. And that could be just as valuable as scrimming for the extra day as well. Of course, there's matches coming up this upcoming weekend as well. But I wanted to share a couple of clips from during the weekend on, well, Kenny's opinion on Shotzzy saying that most teams are just playing for the kills and not necessarily for the win. Kenny reckons that in many instances, this is correct. Of course, this was kind of before the tournament concluded, before they went down to Ravens and everything, and they were to play the Ravens in the upcoming day. Kenny did even predict that the series that Ravens played against, you know, Cloud9 next up was going to be a victory for Ravens. But Kenny's opinion is that, you know, TJHaLy, maybe among other pros, are not really giving their all in the practice.
Yeah, that guy, yeah, what's been good with him?
I don't know. We obviously been having a lot of talks, but like, I feel like he, like in scrims, I can confidently say this, like a lot of people aren't playing for the win. And that's, we've been saying that since last year, bro. Me and Brandon had our thing where like people are not coming to the hill. Yeah. And I think it's kind of getting annoying at this point because like he obviously grinds a lot. And he feels like people aren't playing the game and they're also not playing for the win. So it's like, what are you doing? Because we pulled the practice and it seemed like these teams are literally not trying. Yeah. And it's like, we're trying harder than you and we feel like we're better than you. Thank you. And that's just sad.
Yeah, that's not how it should be.
That's how we feel.
You guys should be going hard.
Yeah. You guys and we go hard regardless, but it's just like y'all aren't even trying.
Yeah. I mean, practice is where it gets done, man. Even, I mean, Shotzzy was saying that last year, and I feel like that's kind of a sentiment that's just been carried. It's like, you get bad practice, you get bad results, and that's just as simple as that.
I'm going to go Carolina.
Carolina?
Yeah.
That's who I got.
I don't think they look at that, like, they haven't looked too good at scrims from what I've saw, but I think they're like a match team.
They're a match team?
Yeah, they show up in the matches.
Yeah, Teach don't give up scrims, dude.
Teach don't be trying.
Teach is chalking himself with whatever food they're getting.
Is Teach who Shotzi's talking about when they say that they're not playing to their full potential?
Yeah. They don't try on scrims. I'm convinced they actually don't try on scrims.
I mean, that guy Teach, man, you never know what you're getting with that boy Teach.
So I wouldn't say Kenny's words aged especially well, because of course in the end they went on to lose to Ravens and they bowed out of the tournament. But Ravens did, of course as it turned out, lose the tournament and lost basically every hardpoint they played in the tourney. So I think that is the question, because it's no secret the Ravens kind of get slammed in scrims, and scrims is mainly hardpoint. So I guess the question is TJ, like, is he more of a match player than a scrim player? Sure, but at the end of the day, you do tend to practice how you play. And if it is true, as it seems to be, that their practice has not been especially good, they did turn up to the tournament and barely win a hardpoint all weekends, but they still came second. So, you know, I do think it's an interesting one from that side as to whether it's really a poor performance on the side of Ravens or whether they're actually just not very good at hardpoint right now, but they're still good enough at the other modes that they're able to get over the line and win some of these series. And of course, their search and destroy is always going to be absolutely mega with the team that they've put together. But yeah, I don't know who else this applies to as well. It may well apply to some other teams in addition. I wouldn't be surprised if it does. I'm sure Kenny and Shotzzy and the other guys have their thoughts on that. And also, I guess another possibility for why the scrum might be chalked, because if you are OpTic and a team like the Ravens, they might be very good. I mean, they're beating you in matches in the CDL. They came second in the recent tournaments. They're top of the league right now, Ravens, by I think something like a 20-point margin. Relatively comfortable there at the top, because they had 40 from the qualifiers and then 20 here from this minor. More tournaments to come or more matches to come over the coming days. Ravens are top of the league, but if OpTic don't feel like they're getting valuable practice from playing them, there's no obligation to play them necessarily. Like, you could say, we don't want to scrim you guys, we don't feel like we learn enough. Like, that is a possibility, rather than playing them again and again and getting annoyed by the way that they play in practice, I guess, because that can't make your own practice good if you're just getting annoyed at the way the other team is playing. So, yeah, I don't know, it's an option, I suppose. Maybe OpTic was scheduled to scrim Ravens today and they said, you know what, screw that, we're not going to learn anything. We're just going to call it a day and work on our own VODs. But very much interested to your thoughts on all of this stuff in the comment section below. Hit the like button if you enjoyed. Subscribe if you're new. Take care. And I'll see you next time.
Maybe.
To your left. Hey, he's one off stage. He's one off stage.
Yeah, one off stage on me.
They have a trophy.
It's a shot. You watch out the stage, have a go. You two low stage,
two low stage.
On our side.
Better.
You back arches, bro.
Have it.
Have it.
Good.
Nice, good.
Nice.
Good job.
Let's go.
You know I win that. You know I win that, motherfucker, man. The 04, you don't have to tell me, brother. I heard it pop in my ear. Trust me, I'm him. Trust me, I'm fucking him.
Shit.